Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sports Card Madness brought to you by DraftKings and their app Pick Six. Sign up with code Madness6 for up to $50 in free credits. This is LZ. I am here with Nick. Today on the show, we're going to be talking and really breaking down the news that was discussed on one of our previous shows around Probstein auctions and their new selling app, Bin. Bid. Oh, is it Bin or Bid?
Bid.
Bid.
BYD.
Sorry. BYD. Yes. BYD. It reminds me of a Michael Jackson song. So we're going to be breaking that down. And then also, again, where is Whatnot's response with a lot of things that have been going on? And we'll
what are they
bring up
playing?
some of them.
What's their game? I
What
have some
is
insight into
their
that
game?
too.
Okay, all right. Well, you bring the insight. All right, so this is LZ here with Nick. What's going on, man? How you doing?
What's up? Yeah, I mean, Rick decided to. We were having him on for the second time. We just thought we'd have fun, and
Yeah.
then we're off air. He's like, "Hey guys,
Catch up on life.
he's like, "What's up, guys? I want to drop like a bomb on your show." I'm like, "Oh, cool." And then it was we recorded it on a Thursday night, and as the audience knows, we drop our episodes at 7 a.m. on Fridays.
Yeah.
And LZ and I were like, "Oh, geez, man, we have to drop
Scrambling.
this tomorrow, don't we?"
Yes. Yes,
So I
and for
spent-
those that don't know, Nick is our producer. We do not have a professional producer
No,
for
it's
this show. Not
tough.
yet, anyways.
Not
Although
yet.
I have conversations with Nick probably like once a month, being like, "All right, man,
It
let's
needs
get
to
a
happen
professional
soon. It's
producer."
getting old. It's getting old.
It's tough though. This is like his baby, and he doesn't want to give it
Yeah.
up. But
Yeah,
at
yeah,
some
yeah.
point, we probably will. But yeah, he dropped that bomb on us, Nick. Right,
We rolled with it.
and he said, and it was very genuine, right? Because he said, I have something for you guys. And we're like, all right, we don't want to know about it. We want you to tell us once we record. So,
Sure
um,
did. He sure
so
did.
what do we think
Yeah.
about
What do we think
bid?
about all this craziness? So it's almost like he's been working this, like somebody's been building a nice clock in secret, that like the
Yeah.
atom bomb project, like
Hmm.
he's been working on this. He said 13 months. This is the first time he talked about it publicly, but he's staying on eBay, which I find fascinating. So he's going to have the might of eBay behind him, and he's going to start his own live selling network, where he's going to be a seller on it. So he's going to be consigning things, but also provide the opportunity for other people to use it to live sell items or potentially consign some stuff too. It's wild. And the
Yeah.
the mic drop moment for me, where he really researched Amazon's logistics model for this. Rick is a very smart guy. I know everybody messes around and calls him Shilstein and all that. We talked about that in the show. Rick is probably one of the top three sharpest people I've talked to, like in this business in the last, I don't know what, 5 years. Do you agree,
Yeah.
LZ?
Yeah, I
Like,
absolutely.
that dude
agree.
is he's
Yes.
he's a smart guy.
Mhm.
And so this was cool for me. LZ and I were like dabbling and breaking. We're like, oh God, but the shipping, I just rather die. And I honestly
I
would.
think there was a couple like weeks where we were like, we're doing this. We're
doing
gonna
this.
do
We're
this.
doing this.
And then we had a talk around shipping, and we're
Yeah.
like, wait a minute. I don't
Mike
wanna
Geo
spend
is the one
5
from
hours.
Sports Cards Nonsense. He said
Yeah.
it. He's like, Nick,
Shout out to Mike.
you ready to spend 4 hours of your life shipping crap? I'm like, no, I'm not,
No.
Mike.
I don't want to do that.
So Rick immediately solves this problem with one line. He's like, you know what? You run your show, you run your weekend show, whatever. You go for 8 hours, 10 hours. You ship us one package, you're done. And I'm like,
That's it.
wow. So they ship him that, and then phew, it goes off and it gets consigned to him. So he's not only creating a platform like Whatnot or Fanatics Live, but he's also creating a market for his business. Okay. So like he's creating a funnel of people to send him more consignment.
Yes.
It's brilliant. It's
Sure.
brilliant. I mean, the only problem is he's just got to market the hell out of it and get the users. That's your classic problem with a new network, right?
Mhm.
I think he can pull it off. He's got enough of an audience already. Just include
Yeah.
the card in your mailouts. Hey guys, BYD's launching May whatever or whatever the date is. We don't know it. Jump on. Jump on. Here's your first $10, whatever. Just like any other network starts, and then I'll let you talk, LZ. But like the other cool moment he said for me is like, think about any other business. People are like, oh, there's no room for this. Let me tell you something. LZ and I have lived through Internet 1.0. All right,
Ooh.
Netscape dropped. That thing was a darling. All right, Netscape was going to take over the world for the next 100 years.
Yep.
It was the most badass company that ever was invented, and it showed it on IPO day, right? And then Internet Explorer came along, like, oh, Microsoft owns this space. Nothing's ever going to change. Oh my
Nothing.
God.
Sure.
Then Mozilla came along, and it's like, wow, this is great. It's not exploding windows all the time. I have
Yeah.
tabs. And then the iPhone comes out, and so on and so
And
on and
so on
so
and
on.
so
And,
on and so on.
and so Rick
Look
is
at
like,
look at the search engines, Nick, right?
yeah,
Like
it's
you
all
had
different
Alta
now.
Vista, you had Ask Jeeves back in the
Yeah.
day.
And
Then
now
it was
search is
Yahoo, now
just,
it's Google. And now and you know what, Nick? This is the interesting one. We all thought like, shoot, Google's the behemoth. Google's not going to go away. Everybody, how often are you using Chat GPT instead of Google now for
yeah.
your research?
Or,
Right?
no, but searches too. Amazon, YouTube is still Google. That was a very smart purchase.
Yeah.
People are using YouTube more and more to search things. But
Hmm.
yes, Amazon's getting searched and other
Reddit's
apps.
getting
Reddit's
searched.
getting searched. Reddit is now
Yeah.
pulled into Google search and has a
Hmm.
partnership. And so my point is like, don't poo-poo this because this industry is just years old, like a few years old. It's going to
It
change like a
is.
hundred times, you
It
know?
is. And he's really smart that he's looking, he mentioned it, right? He's looking at the ones that are out there right now. He's looking at Fanatics Live. He's looking at Whatnot. He's looking at some of the other ones. And he said he wants to create a better mousetrap. And who doesn't love a better mousetrap, right? Um, so that's huge. Nick, to the point you made around you think he is going to be successful.
Yeah.
One of the ways that you're successful is if you have a great network and a great Rolodex.
Yeah. He's got that.
Rick has that.
Yeah.
He's been in this space for a long time.
Forever.
You don't think that he's not talking to some of the big sellers today? And he's saying,
Yeah.
come over to my platform and I'll give you a great rate and all that. He absolutely is.
Yeah.
And Nick, to be completely fair, when he was so everyone go back and listen to the first episode, right? We were kind of trying to get Rick to even go a certain direction with a seller who got into a lot of trouble on Whatnot recently. And Rick didn't really talk smack about him. We tried
I
to
tried
get
hard.
him. We tried to get him to talk about a very prevalent person in the hobby who owns a very big card shop that we all know about in Atlanta. And Rick didn't take that
Yeah.
cheese either.
Nope.
So
'Cause
Rick
Rick's
is
going to go
smart.
on that show and promote
Rick
bids.
is smart.
Yeah.
Oh, he's smart. And maybe he's going to get Jeff to move over to him instead of
You
Whatnot or
never know.
Fanatics Live. You never know, right?
You never know.
It's
Don't
his,
don't
it's his
underestimate that
Rolodex.
guy. He's smart. He
It's
sees
his
things.
Rolodex.
He's
Yeah.
he sees the future a little bit. Like, and his collecting proves it. You know, he's time and time again bought cards. You never hear about Rick like effing up like a modern card sale or something like that. He just holds on to stuff that he's figured out are going to be valued. He's just a smart guy. Like, it's really the only way
Yeah.
to say it.
And kudos to him for hiring a true, real CTO 13 months ago,
Right?
to
Correct.
build this thing.
Yep.
He's taking his time with it. He said he's very close, but he needs a couple more months.
He's probably put significant capital into this too,
Mhm.
like significant.
Oh,
capital.
yeah.
This is no joke to build.
He has.
Um,
It's creating an ecosystem. We talk about Fanatics and how they have an ecosystem, Nick, right?
mhm.
With Fanatics Live and the product that they're pushing and the allocations and all that. Well, here's another ecosystem, right? He's the biggest seller and consigner on eBay. So all the customers that he has, he can now offer this extra service to them.
How many customers
This-
do you think he has, dude? I don't even know.
Oh,
30,000?
Well, Nick, he said it's over 100 million a year.
Yeah, I mean,
100
I don't
million.
know the number, but it's in the tens of
What's
thousands.
an
right?
average sale on Probstein auctions? You want to say it's
There's
like
a minimum of 50
100
bucks. So
$150 is the
Yeah.
minimum.
call it 150. So there you go. I mean,
So there we go.
We're talking 100,000 plus. So he has direct marketing access to 100,000 plus freaking people
Yeah.
that they're going to receive his card. And
Nick,
and
that's more than Whatnot. In
Yes.
this hobby, that's definitely more than Whatnot.
and he has
Right.
their mailing addresses.
He's got
It's
got all of their contact information.
It's
He's,
like
he's got everything.
Like it would cost him 5 cents a piece,
And it's called a warm lead too. It's a
Yeah.
warm. It's not even a lead. It's a customer. It's a warm customer.
not just that, LZ. He's got their email addresses too. So like you've got their brick and mortar address. You could direct mail them coupons like the old school way. Like you spent a few grand doing that, little growth hacky stuff. And then now you put together an email newsletter. You could get 30, 50,000 people on that thing in a second.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. So like
Absolutely.
he's got a network that he can leverage for this, and he's got connections, and he's got foresight, and he's got brains, and I wouldn't bet against him, man.
No, I wouldn't either. Nick, let's go back to the shipping part of it. I mean, that's really gonna the logistics behind that. Maybe me and you want to get into breaking now, Nick, if we don't have to deal with all
Yeah.
the shipping,
I
right?
already had a big swearing match with you about this.
But
Just so
how
the audience,
many
yeah, we should give the
Nick?
audience a little window into that. LZ and I had a fight over breaking. It was
No,
great.
it's all right. It's all right. It's a healthy tension, right? You got
Yeah,
to
yeah,
have
yeah.
some healthy tension
I'm
once
not
in a while.
breaking.
No, I will get him eventually, everybody, to
Yeah.
break. We will break something together. Um, but how many other people are like us though, Nick? And they just don't want to deal with the logistics. You know,
I don't know, 80%.
how many small local card shops do not have that back room or do not have the space to be able to do all those
Half.
logistics?
Yeah.
Half,
I don't know. Half.
half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
And he will do this, but Rick, play your cards right, market this the right way. I would lean so far into that logistics side of it.
yeah.
That is going to
See, the
really,
growth
really put
hacker
you over the
marketing
top.
person, that's where I'm humming. It's like,
Mhm.
man, you hit that 100,000 people with direct mail, with email. You do your road show with all your buddies that you've accumulated
Mhm.
over the years, and his own Instagram. They're all real followers, and he's got like 50, 60,000. That's no joke.
Mhm.
You know, he could go on a live and have 400 people at a time just watching whatever he does. Um, he's got the marketing, he's got the logistics, and he's got the
Yeah.
capital. Like, it's going to be in the wars. Like, it's going to be really cool to look back on this a decade from now and just be like, and we'll talk about whatnot and how they're
Yeah.
playing this and how that's affecting that. But like,
Mhm.
it's like Fanatics Live is a thing and whatnot is a thing, and then you have Loop, which is like a smaller one, and eBay is sort of not letting people really open the floodgates, and it's all very interesting. Like market dynamics, whatnot's kind of they'll let people fall asleep on streams. Where
Sure.
Fanatics Live,
Mhm.
this was part of the fight me and LC had when I talked to the Fanatics Live guy. He's like, well, that's cool, like scantily glad chicks and everything, but like, you got to break 40 hours a week minimum and, do other certain things. And I'm like, oh,
What?
that
What?
like that, I'm not doing that.
It's
That
gonna
blows.
it's gonna cut into our show time. What do you
But
mean? We can get
whatnot,
you 40 hours a week.
I'm approved for whatnot right now. Me and my son
Hmm.
did one like,
Yeah.
I don't know, 3 months ago. It was a joke, but we
Mhm.
did one. So it'll be cool to see how this all plays out. I think a lot
It
of
will be.
acquisitions.
Well,
You'll
let's.
get somebody will pop and there'll be mergers
Mm.
and acquisitions like
Well,
most.
I want to see how this plays out. Who knows? Maybe we'll even have Rick do a show at our national party. We'll see
Yeah,
if
we talked
maybe
about that.
maybe we could have Bid be part of that. But let's get to whatnot.
Yeah. Speaking of
All
this
the
market,
drama. Yeah. Speaking of this, I mean, you can't talk about live selling and not them, right? They're
correct.
they're the biggest in the space. If not one, they're two. They're definitely there. What are your thoughts recently on their lack of response to a lot of the drama that's been going on? Because you've been very vocal in calling
Yeah.
them out.
Yep.
So what are
Yeah.
what are your thoughts?
Well played. It's exactly what I would do if I was in risk management. I would
Mm,
say, shut up, just shut up for
mm,
like 3 months.
mm.
You're gonna get kicked and punched and poked, and they ended up in the national news. Newsmax, I believe, covered them.
Yep.
They are doing the turtle strategy. It's like pull the limbs in,
Mm-hmm.
pull the tail in, and just hope nobody smashes you with a hammer.
Yeah.
I am going to air something. Well, I don't know when we're airing this episode, but there's some other stuff I'm going to air about the beginnings of whatnot that
Yeah.
might cause some problems with this turtle strategy for them. But it's smartly played. Now, Jeff Wilson spoke with them. He mentioned this on his show privately. And the Whatnot leadership, we've had them on our show as well. And we actually tried to reach out in this fiasco and we didn't hear back. So Jeff basically said they are viewing themselves as YouTube. So if
Right.
somebody pulls out an M16 on YouTube and their live gets canceled,
Yeah.
YouTube doesn't feel like they're obligated to make a public statement about that or educate
Mm-hmm.
people about that. The problem I had with this approach for Whatnot is they have done it before with other
Mm-hmm.
breakers, and they have said, this is what happened with XYZ company. They have very clearly changed the rules of the game for somebody that makes them so much money. That's upsetting to me from a business ethics perspective, but from a business strategy perspective, they played it right. Those are my thoughts.
I'm going to call you out.
Mm,
I am going to call you out right now. You just said, to be fair, it's what I would do.
mm,
That is not true
mm.
because a couple weeks ago, you didn't say that. You said that they should come out, they should make a statement,
Right.
and we both said that. We both said that they should come out and make a statement.
I guess
We
it's
have
some
been
cold-hearted
we
version of me or something.
we've been business executives for a long time, and we've seen this played out before, and we've seen incident response, and we've seen risk management, and we've seen this, and therefore whatnot should do X. And
Yeah.
what we said was not to
We
stay
said within
silent.
24 hours, be like, all right, guys, like that we're taking this very seriously
Yes.
and it's under investigation. You're right. I think it's more like the cold, like if I just took my emotion out of it and I was
Mm-hmm.
just like a cold-hearted mother, that, like I would play it that way. And that
Yeah.
actually, you know what? That's very telling because that tells you the type of leadership they have. I'm very, like you can bifurcate me, right? And so that's
Yeah.
one way I would go. And yes,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I have a heart. And like,
Yeah.
I think you're right. Like, it would have been a better approach to be, hey, we're taking this seriously. At least
Mm-hmm.
just say that.
Mm-hmm.
Like they
Yeah.
said
Just it could have
nothing.
been a 2 sentence statement. That's it.
It's
That's
crazy.
it.
Like we don't
Could have
even
been.
like all we know is that Grant's account was taken down,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. We don't know if
Mm-hmm.
it's a day, a year, whatever. And it's what's funny? It's almost like they think they're as big and cool as YouTube. Like this trillion
No,
dollar market
no.
cap company.
Yeah.
Um, you're not YouTube yet. Be
Mm.
careful. You have competitors.
Oh, be careful. Yeah.
Be careful.
Yeah.
People are
You have
pissed.
bid. You have bid
people
coming in.
people are pissed.
Yeah.
And I'm doing stuff
Mm-hmm.
on Instagram about this that's getting a million views.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is no joke.
Yeah.
You could very easily lose investors
Mm-hmm.
and lose big sellers and not recover. So, you might think you have a big head and you don't have to like address this, but I do think I think they're going to be okay for the next few months of this. I do think this will bite them eventually. This
Yeah.
this
This
was a
long
poor
term.
calculation.
Long term, it's going to have an impact
I
on
agree.
them.
There will be
And
some investor, some female investor somewhere, some
mm-hmm.
mother that's going to be like, they're going to need a round, like Series E or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to be pitching to this capital, and she's going to be like, nope.
Yeah, she's gonna dig up all this stuff.
Yeah, she's going to be like,
Right.
no way, no
Mm-mm.
way, you failed
Mm-mm.
with that one,
Yeah, you didn't
and
do.
that's
Yeah.
real. As you get bigger, that's going to matter more.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to blow through the cash in this round. It's a tough place. You got a billionaire on one side, Fanatics Live. He's
Mm-hmm.
not messing around. You can
Mm-mm.
outspend him. His net worth is 10 billion. Whatnot's market cap is 5 billion. He could buy you twice.
That's right.
It's like
Yeah.
you're not going to fight that battle.
No.
And then you've got like a really smart guy that's been in the hobby forever, that's really connected, starting his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And eBay is not a tiny company. And then you've got the upstarts like Loop and like all these other companies. Like, if you're gonna act this way, like you're some arrogant, like man, I'm talking too much about this, but like if
No.
you're gonna play this way, you're gonna play it that way, like
It put
you might
it put
lose.
such a sour taste in everyone's mouth in the hobby. I know we talk a lot about content creators and the influencers in the hobby, and the influencers are influencers for a reason because they actually do have some influence. And
That
I
was
don't think I don't think this is sitting well with many of these people,
yeah.
many of them. So long term, I do believe this is going to have an impact. I truly do.
Yep.
Uh,
Business ethics does
even
matter. I know
I
it's
mean,
not
Nick, even
snowflake crap.
even like I don't know, like once in a while we like talk about whatnot, and like whenever that word comes out of my mouth now, I kind of get like
I,
a sour taste in
I
my mouth.
personally have not been. I used to buy a lot of vinyl on Whatnot, and then
Mm,
other than people sending me weird stuff that's happening on
mm,
Whatnot, I kind of talk to my son. I'm like, I don't know,
yeah.
man. Like, they need to do better and just be better. Like, they
Hmm.
have a real problem. They have a problem about controlling. Like, it's like a prison without a warden right now.
Yeah.
Like, they just have chaos there with their sellers and the screen.
Hmm.
The screening process was a joke. I went through the screening process. I wasn't allowed to like share it and whatever, but it's a joke. Okay. It was like a 1 hour quiz with like 100 weird people on camera. Okay. And they just like have no etiquette. They have no decorum. And
uh,
like, you're just like following the slide thing. And she like gives you the answers. And then the next day you're verified. You could sell on Whatnot. And then I did. Their screening process is,
mm.
it's a joke,
You know
dude.
what? You know what's a real shame too? Like with my whole point of making around like sour taste in our mouth is we've had Whatnot on a couple times,
Twice.
and they were great. They were great discussions.
They were.
And we know a few people offline there that are great, great people.
Yes.
They really, really are. And I just want to put this out there to them. If they are listening, please come on.
Yeah.
We will give you a fair interview. The reason why we might feel so one-sided right now is because we're not hearing from you. And we've reached out to you and asked you to talk to you, and it's silence because I'm sure they're being ordered
That's
to
the game.
stay silent.
Yeah. And we had a very strong relationship.
We really did. And
that
it's
a great two-way communication. And when that happened, there was a brick wall, like a brick wall done. Mm-hmm. It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I mean, not that, I mean, it's like I care.
And it's because we're not breakers there, Nick, right? Like Jeff Wilson apparently talked to him because he breaks with them.
He
so
makes
it
them
makes
a lot of
sense.
money. Yeah. It would have made a big difference if Jeff had said, you know what, guys, I take this seriously. I'm going to not break on Whatnot for a day. And I'm going to get Joe Hollywood, who I just had a steak dinner with the night before. I'm going to get him. And we're all going to say, guess what, Whatnot? Until you make a public statement, we're not coming on. But I get it, man. You know, Backyard's a competitor, so it's tricky. But like, I don't know. Everybody could have done a little more here. And I don't know. It's crazy, man.
They could.
All right.
They could. All right. So let's end that topic and get to the question of the day.
It's yours today.
Okay. All right. Question of the day is, give me your top 3 comedy movies.
Okay. Dumb and Dumber. Are we drafting or are we doing?
We don't have to draft. You can just give me your top 3. What do you got?
Right.
Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber. Oh man, Old School and The Hangover.
Oh, those are great ones.
One from the 90s and 2 from the 2000s. The early 2000s, before all the political correctness and snowflakiness and all that stuff. You cannot make Old School right now. It would be canceled.
No chance.
The Hangover has like a dude completely naked. Like that Asian guy. I forget his name. He's completely naked in it.
Yeah. Just speaking of that, do you know that was legitimately a surprise? Bradley Cooper and Zach Galifianakis, they didn't know that was going to happen. He was in the trunk and he like got naked and he's like, I'm going to surprise the hell out of him.
That's such his personality. He's hilarious.
Oh yeah. And he jumped on one of them naked.
My God. I'm going to rewatch that.
That makes it even better, right?
That's just such a great, like, perfect casted, you know, and the Dumb and Dumber is like I didn't want to go all the way back to like, you know, Animal Houses and stuff like that and like, you know, whatever. So anyway, those are my 3. Pretty contemporary.
Yeah. The goat comedy is Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
And it's tough because I don't know if it really holds up. Like if I showed my 16-year-old son, I don't think Tyler would necessarily like it. But damn, that movie.
It's a lot of references that they wouldn't get now.
That movie. Oh man, that was good.
It's good.
That was good.
It's good.
All right. So I am going to have one of your same. I'm not choosing The Hangover, even though The Hangover was so damn good.
Yeah.
But Old School, I quote Old School. I actually quoted Old School earlier today. Me and Nick we were texting back and forth. I'm like, hey, do you want to record today? And Nick was like, oh yeah, I got some things going on this afternoon. I got to do X, Y, and Z. And I responded back with a meme of Will Ferrell, basically when he's at the party and he's like, I got to go to
Bed Bath Beyond.
Bed Bath Beyond. I don't know if I have enough time. So I quote that movie all the time. So
if you haven't, for some reason, if the audience hasn't seen any of these, like within the next 48 hours, you need to watch them all.
You really do. You really do. All right, so Dumb and Dumber, Old School, and Kingpin.
Oh my God. Cousin Eddie. I don't know that guy's name. The Cousin Eddie guy.
So good.
Damn, I forgot about Kingpin.
Oh wow. You just got Munsoned?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I think I've only seen that like twice.
Oh, the movie's so good. I quote that one a lot as well.
Solid movie.
Yeah. All right.
We had this discussion a long time ago. We included Elf, but then we're like, we can't include holiday movies because then it's like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I mean, that's, in terms of comedy, that's like, I mean, come on.
Right.
So we
wait a
had
minute.
to exclude that.
Did I repeat a question?
No, this was something
Okay,
we
was
asked
this was
before
like
the show
holiday?
existed.
Oh, okay, all right, just like over beers or something.
Yeah,
We were
yeah. And I
talking
remember
about it.
you said
Oh,
you
okay,
texted
all
a
right,
buddy Elf, and your
yeah.
buddy was like, Elf, in no universe does Elf belong on a top three comedy list ever, 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 ever. And he got like heated about it.
No, I think we did a draft and like Elf was like the only one left. Like I didn't have my choice of anybody, but yeah, I included Elf. I'll stand by that
So
one, guys.
I guess we're excluding holidays from this because
Yeah.
you would obviously have to pick
Hmm.
Lampoon. That's like probably the most watched comedy movie ever,
Right.
just because it's watched every year so much, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Um,
Go watch Kingpin tonight, man.
yeah, I'm gonna,
So
dude.
good.
Well, actually, I'm in the middle of a
Oh,
really good movie called The
Bill
Gorge.
Murray?
It's like amazing right now.
Is it a movie?
Yeah, it's on
Oh,
Apple.
it's like it's
It's
all over my
it's
advertisements on
it's got
IG.
that Jack
Miles
dude,
Teller.
yeah, from Whiplash and Top Gun.
Yep.
It's got that girl from that chess show on Netflix.
Yeah.
I forget her
Queen's
name.
Gambit. Queen's
Yeah, and
Gambit.
so there's this
Yeah.
mysterious gorge, and people go and rotate. They spend 1 year watching it. There's one person on one side, one person on the other. They're not allowed to communicate, and some gnarly stuff goes on. I'm halfway through the movie. I'm
Ooh.
finishing it tonight.
Apple's been like kicking butt
They
lately.
are kicking butt, dude.
They
They are
really
kicking
are.
butt. Yeah,
And
they
there's
are.
some good ones coming out too. They got more coming
I
soon
know they're
too. So
crushing Isaac Asimov's books. You know, they're doing a great job. Those books
yeah.
are like heavy stuff, and they're doing a
Hmm.
great job translating it into
Yeah.
the small screen. So
Yeah.
yeah, Apple's great. And what's the other? Severance? That's amazing. You know?
Severance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Hmm.
right, this isn't a pop culture show. We got to stop. We got to stop.
We could do one though. We
We
could do
could
that.
definitely
I
do
would
one.
love that. All right, everybody.
All right.
Hope you enjoyed it.